The Army Painter are the official paints for Infinity the game. Infinity is Corvus Belli's premier tabletop wargame featuring a unique science fiction setting where the fate of humanity is on the brink of war of a galactic scale. But covert ops orchestrate combat operations to tip the scales of the battlefront. The Infinity universe features some of the most beautiful and detailed miniatures ever created, and we wear the title of Official Paints of Infinity as a badge of honor. We teamed up with Corvus Belli to develop faction sets. The next in the range are the Nomads and Eugene sets, which feature an exclusive free miniature and unique paints designed in collaboration with the artists at Corvus Belli and the Army Painter. Today we're painting the miniature that comes inside the Nomad set. We're limiting ourselves to just the paints found inside with a little bit of War Paint stabilizer, but don't be afraid to mix and match your preferred Fanatic colors, speed paints, or War Paints Air if you are following along at home. Remember, at the Army Painter, it's all about the fun, no rules, just paint. This is just a suggestion based on the incredible box art from our friends at Corvus Belli, but you can follow the same steps with your colors of choice at home. To begin, we'll apply a base coat of Svartfang skin. That is a really funny word. I'm going to struggle with that throughout the rest of this narration, and matte black. The skin tone is a match to Carnelian skin from our core War Paints Fanatic range, so when you do run out, it will be simple to restock at your friendly local game store. Simply reference the corresponding name on the label and find it on the rack. We're going to use this color primarily to base coat all of the armor on the upper portion of the miniature, which will be followed up with a mix of Svartfang skin and Bakunin neon. I think I'm just going to call this neon from here on out. This is a unique color from the range. It's a very rich, ruddy brown, which will make for a really nice blended layered highlight. We'll refine the armor a bit more using Gecko Armor, a vivid purplish red, focusing this on the upper areas to build some nice volumes while leaving the darkest base colors untouched in the recess. Refining it even further, we'll mix Corrugator Red, a pale red from the Nomad set. Volumetric highlighting may seem daunting for a beginner, but it's actually quite simple. Paint big, darker, paint small, brighter, in the direction of your light source, usually from the top. Congratulations, you are now a professional painter. You can use this mix to apply your first edge highlights before following that up with an edge highlight of pure Corrugator Red. Mixing some more paint stabilizer to thin some matte black will help to create a hybrid glaze wash. This makes the color apply a touch more uniformly but lighter, allowing the raised edges to appear lighter, which will save lots of time later on. Meteor Head Gray or Deep Gray, if you've got it, will work as a simple overbrush highlight on all of these black bits. Tighten that up with a refined application of Takai Gray using a Wargamer detail brush. We'll go back to pure Svartfang skin for the boots and trousers, just a very simple base coat. Then we'll cover it and all of the remaining details with your glaze coat mix of stabilizer and matte black. Once that's dry, reestablish some of the highlights once again with Svartfang skin, and apparently this medic never misses glute day. Dang. Add a bit of synthetic skin, a match to Fanatic's leopard stone skin for your highlights. Be as neat as you can. Using a Wargaming detail brush here is just perfect for the job. Next, we'll move on to apply a base coat to the lower grayish bits. We'll use Meteor Head Gray here. We're going to mix in some of the hollow screen teal with that Meteor Gray to add some highlights to this gray armor. Using the teal with the gray really helps to give it a futuristic, plastic, ballistic armor effect. Using some thinned down matte black, go ahead and base coat some of the straps, weapons, and other areas that we want to be metallic in the future. This is going to be a really simple non-metallic metal effect, which is featured predominantly throughout the Infinity box art. Highlight them with a simple edge of Takai Gray. Using the side of your brush will make this step super simple. Finish that with a very simple and small specular highlight of matte white. We're going back to our black stabilizer mix to glaze coat the backpack before we highlight it with Takai Gray, and then again with matte white. You can use Gecko Armor or the color of your preference to paint in the details on this backpack before base coating the face and head of this medic with Corrugator Red and a mix of that Svartfang skin mixed up in approximately a 1-to-1 ratio. Use pure Corrugator Red to apply your first highlight to the skin on the brow, nose, ears, and the top of the head, which you can refine by adding synthetic skin to the mix before a pure focused highlight of synthetic skin. Now to take your skin to another level, you can use a glaze of gecko armor and war paint stabilizer and just apply this under the cheeks and into the details to add some liveliness to that skin tone. I'm gonna be honest here, I did not have mustaches being back in style in my 2025 bingo card, but it makes sense for this medic to have one. Add a gentle base coat of Takai Gray to this and on the mohawk. Then tidy that up with some clean matte white. You can continue using the matte white to base coat the gems and nodes on the armor all across this miniature, which we'll follow up with some hollow screen teal thinned again with our war paint stabilizer to make those nodes glow. Now it's okay if you paint around and outside of the details, as this will assist in the object source lighting effect. Use some of that gecko red to block in the medic cross and highlight that strategic first aid kit with the following colors before we base the mini. Using a mix of matte black and that neon color that I cannot pronounce to base coat the surface of the base before dry brushing it with hollow screen teal for a really cool, far out futuristic basing effect. Then you can add whatever tufts you like from our Battlefield's Tufts range, paint the rim of your mini, and it's complete and ready for battle somewhere in the human sphere. There's more in store from the Corvus Belli and the Army Painter Alliance. The Army Painter are the official paints for Infinity the game. Be sure to like and subscribe for future Infinity content and more from the Army Painter. You can order your Infinity paint set from our friends at Corvus Belli or at thearmypainter.com. The future of Infinity is now.